Welcome, motorsports fans, to another episode of Down and Dirty with Doug, brought to you by Sunstar and Bro Taco Hot Sauce on the one, the only, Power 2, the Ground Media Network. This week we're going to be going over what it's like to be a newbie to supercross and motocross in general. My guest is my brother. His name is Grant. He does have a motorsports background, raced like super late models and asphalt short track, different stuff like that. So a noob, I guess, wouldn't be the correct title. We will go with inexperienced in the moto world.
Highly inexperienced in dirt bikes.
Yeah. So we'll I just threw together some questions. I figured we would kind of pick the brain of somebody that hasn't had any experience in the sport. What it's like attending his first supercross race, which was Tuesday's night show at Indianapolis, the round 5 of the Monster Energy Supercross. And it was really your first dirt bike race ever. Yeah. So it's we're just going to run down some quick questions here, kind of pick his brain, see what he thought. Hopefully one day Feld will see this so that we can make the experience better for a lot of the newer people and really try to grow this sport. But until then, that's why we're here at Power to the Ground, so that we can try to grow this sport as much as possible. So without too much further ado, let's just hear a quick overview on how your night went, man.
First off, thanks for taking me. It was amazing. So we basically drove down to Indianapolis after I got out of work on Tuesday. Had a fun road trip with the brother. We went out, got some food, met up with someone before the race because my brother's cool, so we helped someone out. Overall, it was absolutely amazing. Obviously, I don't know, probably not a lot of people have been to Lucas Oil Stadium, but the venue is, bar none, one of the best you could probably go to, whether it's a football game or dirt bike race, or it doesn't matter. The place is amazing. But yeah, the experience was unreal. From the time we sat down on our seats, I'm pretty sure I didn't pick my cell phone up more than, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 times.
Yeah,
maybe
once an hour. And then there's me sitting there with my cell phone out, running live timing, talking to all my buddies that are watching on the TV. So it's
overall, it was an amazing experience. There's no doubt.
There's a lot of energy in those stadiums.
Yeah. I feel like I brought some of it too.
Right. Yeah,
I was pumped.
You definitely. I don't even know why I paid for the seat you were standing from the second that they lit the fireworks off to when they threw the checker
thanks for the heads
Roxon.
up on that, because
yeah, they get loud.
I didn't jump back next to the lady behind me.
Right. But it's what was the most memorable part? Like the part that just absolutely sticks out in your head as just crazy, like can't believe that it actually happened.
Racing wise, or just
overall, just in general.
So my most memorable part, I kind of want to save.
Oh yeah,
because it's about the racing. But I think the way they ran the show was absolutely amazing. It was cool. It was super cool to see how they explain what's going on, because I had no idea. I mean, I've talked to him about racing and things like that before, dirt bike racing, and I've tried to get involved and watch it, but it's totally different watching it on TV. You have people around. It was super cool to be in the arena and have things explained to you on the big screen, like, hey, this is why they're doing this. At one point, I even pulled it up on my cell phone. I was like, hey, this flag and this. I was a little confused, just so I knew what was going on, but they explained all that, and I think that probably for me was maybe not the most it wasn't the most memorable part of the night, but I think that was probably the best as far as the series that they're running, or
just
whatever
kind of
they're
having
doing.
an understanding.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Nobody
it.
wants to sit there and hear a bunch of motors and a bunch of guys running around without any idea what's going on. So it was super cool that they did that. And I'm definitely glad they did it, because otherwise I would have been bothering him the whole time.
That's why I'm there. There's there's not a lot of people that are this involved with the sport, so it's for them to be able to do that. For me, being involved with the sport, it's a little dry because I'm like, well, I feel like you should probably know that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I have to kind of take a step back and realize.
Yeah. It's like me trying to explain stagger on a stock car to somebody. Like, this is why it matters. They're like, well, I don't care.
Yeah. Just rotate them. It'll be all right. You know. What was probably like the worst part of the show? Just as a general overview type of deal.
So what, we were an hour and 40 minutes from Indianapolis to where we live-ish?
Yeah, hour
depending
45,
on traffic.
2 hours. Yeah.
And I complained probably for 40 minutes about the big screen during the races.
Yeah.
So my biggest thing was, I've watched it on TV a few times. I think my biggest issue was that when you're watching it in person, everyone starts going, right? And really your depth perception gets thrown off. I would like to be able to look up, especially at a place like Lucas Oil Stadium, right? They have a screen here, and they're huge.
Some big old screens.
Right.
Yeah.
So I was highly confused as to why I can't look up at a screen and see what number is going where on the track, right? Not that stock car racing or NASCAR is better or anything like that, but as far as the broadcast matters even when you're at the venue.
Yeah.
So that bothered me because there was multiple times where I had to like pull my phone up, or I was asking you, I'm like trying to look around, and you know, because you get into it and you care about the race, but it's like, well, now I lost this guy. You know, there's 20 some guys, you know, running dirt bikes in a track the size of a football field. You know, and there's a whole lot going on. So it would have been cool just to be able to look up at the screen and be like, oh, you know, the dude I care about, the dude I'm watching is in turn 8 or whatever.
Yeah, especially because it seemed like as the night went on, like we got to sit close to Cade Clayson's family, so we started cheering for him in the LCQ.
That was awesome. That was super cool.
Had a quick run-in with Devin Harriman of the 250s just a short time before. Yeah. And then obviously you started liking more and more riders as like their stories came up and stuff like that, which we'll get into in a little bit. But it's to really find a rider to be invested in and then end up with multiple of them, it's hard. It's really hard to bounce back and forth. So
the stories are cool. I had like five favorites by the end of the night.
Yeah, he's like, oh, they're top 5. I like their songs, so we'll be friends. But it's I tend to agree with the live timing. I've been to enough of them that I just run it off of my phone. But at the same time, live timing of any kind kills your phone, and you're there. We were there from 3 o'clock until 11.
Right, which is why they could have just had it up on the big screen. Yeah, because most of the time we were there, I mean, there was just so much. You know, they had like they would show. Basically, you're live watching the race from the stands. You don't need to look at the big screen and see guys, you know, going around the track. To show something like, instead of just a banner going across, you know, there was multiple times where I was like sitting there waiting. I'm like, you know, where's homeboy at? And I'm just waiting.
Yeah. It's like
and
3
you can't
riders
find them
at
on
a
the
time.
track, and you're looking up, and it's like, just show the numbers, show where they're at, you know, follow them, you know, I mean,
that is a great idea.
It's very, very simple, but there's no reason anybody in the stands should ever lose where their favorite person is, in my opinion. But
overall, was it fairly easy to kind of figure out the layout of the show, like kind of how they run it? It's pretty similar to a circle track. So.
So it's highly similar after I figured it out. You know, you have your heats, you have your mains, you have, I mean, anyone that knows racing knows that. We don't have to get too deep into that. That was
biggest difference is instead of a B main, they call it an LCQ.
Right. So, and that took me a minute to figure out. I was like, what's that? What is that?
Yeah. It's what about with the overall kind of,
and the qualifying confused.
Oh yeah, instead of just one person on the track.
Absolutely confused me. No, not that. It's like, well, you qualified, so why are you running a heat race?
Yeah.
Like,
Nobody's
just
guaranteed to make the night show,
Line them
man.
up, let's go. But
we saw that with Jeff that night too.
Right.
He did
and
make the night show.
I came to learn. I was like, that's actually pretty cool. So however the qualifying happened, and then you know who the studs are, and then they're running for a heat race to try to get in the end. That was pretty badass.
Yeah, it's it definitely it highlights consistency over just one fast lap.
Right.
You know?
Absolutely.
So
yeah.
It's besides the LCQ stuff and the qualifying, what else did you kind of learn about the sport that you might not have known going in?
Mentality seemed huge to me.
Oh yeah, it's definitely a headstrong sport.
So yeah, you run a stock car on a circle track and you can mess up, going into turn 1 or coming out of turn 4 or whatever, and you can kind of get your bearing. I mean, those cats going through rhythms and
yeah, there's not a lot of mess up.
It was wild, man, and seeing Cirillo saw it.
Yeah,
he got a little janky and looked rough for a few laps, and I was like, holy smokes, man. I was like, man, if somebody gets off, they could be off for
a while,
2-3 laps, and that's huge.
Oh, it's massive.
Right? Yeah, so the mentality, the rhythm, you think, riding a dirt bike, you don't think about being smooth or whatever, but that's absolutely a factor.
Oh, yeah.
So that really, as far as the racing and what goes into racing, that absolutely surprised me for sure.
Oh yeah.
I thought it was just a bunch of dudes going out and just ripping dirt bikes, and I was like, whoa.
Oh yeah.
There's a rhythm to this, like a slow dance to it almost.
It is. It definitely is a slow dance with a 250-pound bike 40 feet in the air. You know? It's what about the gonna jump off script a little bit here real quick. Just one quick question that your question kind of led me into. What about how they do the Kawasaki Science of Supercross with the starting gates and stuff?
Loved it. Absolutely loved it.
It's pretty crazy how they break that stuff down.
Yeah, absolutely loved it. You've been dirt racing, circle track dirt racing, stock cars. I mean, whatever you're racing on matters. Doesn't matter if it's asphalt, dirt.
Oh yeah.
Now they're using metal, whatever.
Yeah, for the start gate.
But yeah, it absolutely matters, and I like that because you have guys. That was the first thing I thought of. I was like, why have they not done this forever? Like, that was like a new thing that they showed on the big screen, which was
in Europe
which was cool to learn about it. But it's like, so you're telling me for the last 10 years you've had dudes working on these bikes, and their race could be won or lost based on where their starting gate is? That's ridiculous to me. So it's nice that everybody gets an even spot.
Yep.
And you freaking hammer down, and then it's all the racing. It has nothing to do with the start. I don't like that starting stuff, I'll say that. Regardless of what they have there.
Gets a little spooky, huh?
No, I like it, but it's just weird. It's awesome now that they have that. I would hate watching a dirt bike race starting
like a rolling start.
Right, where guys are kicking dirt and doing that. It's like, no, give everyone an even start.
Yeah. Yeah. That's very true. Speaking of even starts, you're a new fan, man. So
yeah.
Who's your new rider to follow?
Joe Shimoda, 250.
Yeah. What about in 450s, man? Did you find a favorite on that?
So seeing Cirillo, young, right?
Yeah.
Well, the Come Out Music, Blink-182, you got me. Grew up on it.
He's got a personality.
But yeah, it was cool. That was the other thing the promotion did right was, as a new fan, I'd never been to a race in my life. I've watched 3 or 4 of them with Doug. It was super cool to be able to see the personalities and see the stories and like I remember like when they were all riding out, it was like, oh, I like that dude. Oh, I like that dude. Oh, I like that dude too.
Everyone in the top 10. It was everyone.
Yeah.
And they
did. It was super cool, man. Cooper Webb, that was wild. That dude's scrappy.
Yeah.
You can see it, and I like that. I noticed that immediately. I like that. Seeing Cirillo, Roxon,
That's my
that
boy.
story.
Oh yeah.
I mean, anyone who doesn't root for that dude is probably a weirdo.
That's with Marvin Musquin, the number 25 orange bike. He's the same way. 600 days off of a bike, and they cataloged it all when it's on his rollout.
I like a comeback story, man. That was super cool to see. Honestly, I really, honest to God, liked all of them.
Yeah.
It's just wild to see. You know, I have so much respect for that. Like, these guys are just going out and giving their bodies up to, you know, I grew up sitting in a race car all strapped in. I'm safe, man.
Yeah, where your average
these cats
NASCAR retirement is what, like 40? These cats
go
barely
60
make it.
if you want.
Yeah. These cats barely make it to 30, man.
Yeah, it was awesome, man. I liked a lot of them, but you could definitely tell, you could easily tell the difference in mentality and the way guys ride. I figured that out like through the heat races. I remember we talked about it a little bit. I kept hitting you like, and you're like, yeah, I know. I'm like, yeah, but did you see it?
Yeah. That was like that with Shimoda running that crazy. We were calling it the Joe line in the stands. He was running the 450 line and just he was smooth on it too, and we were getting all amped up and stuff on that. But he's super smooth. He's probably one of my favorite 250 riders too, man. So
he's definitely my favorite.
Oh yeah. Would you go again though? That's the big question.
100%, 110%, all day. I'll take work off, do whatever, we'll make it happen.
So I'm guessing it was a pretty immersive show. Like
absolutely.
You didn't just feel like they were there, almost like sometimes you know how you go to like a professional sporting event and you definitely feel like just somebody watching a bunch of other people perform.
Right.
Like,
no. I felt definitely. I think they did a great job, like getting. So me as someone that was new there, I think they did a great job getting me involved because I mean I was standing up like.
Oh yeah.
I mean I was into it.
Yeah.
I was into it hardcore.
The whole walkout. He's like, "You guys don't stand."
Yeah.
Like, we do when our riders come out.
I was pumped. Yeah, it was cool. I'd absolutely do it.
Is it kind of what you expected just by watching like the TV broadcast?
Absolutely not.
No, it's a whole different show, ain't it?
Yeah.
Would it surprise you if I told you Feld ran circuses and monster trucks?
No.
Yeah, they definitely bring a lot of that to the show, don't they?
Which is a good thing. Literally, the only complaint I have of being at the show was just when you're watching. You know, you got a 30-minute race.
Yeah.
And the main 450 main, is it 30 or 20? 20?
20 plus 2.
Right. So you're watching, you care about a few guys, and it's like you lose your depth perception, right? And it's like it'd be nice. I mean, you're in an arena with some of the best screens in all of sports in the United States. It's like maybe just follow them a little bit and let me know where my dude's at, because it is hard.
Either
that or I'm totally blind, but I'm not.
See, I am, so I have to always look up behind me like that to see it.
Yeah.
But it's
because you could see I was getting frustrated. I'm like,
and I'd be like, no, he's right here. Like on.
Not gonna lie, I complained about it for like 40 minutes on the way home.
We did come up with a good idea though. We didn't just complain to complain like some people did.
Yeah.
So it's the way we were kind of thinking is when you're at the not necessarily during the broadcast because it would never work.
Right.
But when you're at the track, why not have at least the top 10 on the left side? 10 through 20 on the right side.
Yeah, that was the thing because they had like they're showing the video in the middle of the screen. These screens are 60 feet wide.
Yeah.
And they got 10 feet and 10 feet, and they're not showing anything except the Monster Energy sign, which I get it sponsors, but I mean a place like Lucas Oil Stadium, you can hang Monster banners in every seat if you want.
Yeah.
They'll let you do it. So it would have been nice like. No, I don't like to compare it to NASCAR and circle track racing, but if you watch a NASCAR race, you know where your dude's at.
Yeah.
All the time. Every time. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter what track, doesn't matter where. So it would have been great if it's like it was a live, you see positions jumping or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. So are you gonna you looking forward to tonight? You gonna cheer on your guys?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure one of them's gonna win because I think I happen to accidentally be fans of. I want Joe to win. Joe Schmodo, 250. He's my dude.
Yeah.
And that guy is gonna be a stud.
Oh yeah. Yeah, me and Jesse were talking about it in the last
when we talk about
episode.
mentality and someone that doesn't know dirt bike racing, you could tell if you sat and watched that dude.
He's a gamer.
And you know anything about anything.
Yeah.
That dude is calm, collected, and an absolute stud.
Oh, yeah. You can see it. And even in his interviews and stuff, you probably haven't seen any of his interviews, but it's the same way. He's super humble, super just down to earth, always willing to joke around.
He wrecked twice and still made the A. So
yeah.
We'll say that. I seen it with my own eyes.
What about 450s, man? Who you calling for 450s in round 6?
I want Cianciarulo to win, man. He had a rough night on Tuesday.
That he did.
He did.
I think he qualified third fastest lap time.
That's
for
good.
Tonight's episode, which if you're going to end up watching this after this race happens, so I guess we'll see how good Grant here is at predicting some stuff. But I think you got some fast guys.
I think he's gonna come back. Man, like I said, that was a thing. I'd never seen anything like it. You get out of rhythm and something, and it's a mental thing. So I think he's had a few days to sit on it, and I'm sure he knows what he did wrong. He's a young kid. Come out and knock it out, man.
Oh yeah.
I got him.
Right. But other than that, it's that's pretty much the all the questions that we wanted to run through. Was there anything that really ran into you that you had like a burning desire after I dropped you off or whatever that you kind of wanted to know? Because we haven't really talked since we got back.
Yeah, not really at all. Been a busy week.
Right. Well, we still have the live show tonight that we can go over all that stuff. So I think Jesse's going to join us. I think our buddy Tiller, who's just starting the stats and fantasy segment of our podcast, he's going to join us too. So we should have plenty of knowledge.
Yeah, man.
If I don't know it, one of those guys should. So
yeah, and if they don't know it, I definitely don't. So
yeah, that's But other than that, thanks for tuning in, folks. It's great to see you all again, and don't forget to like, comment, and share. And
twice.
Yeah. Well, don't click like twice because you'll like it and then unlike it. But so do it 3 times. Yeah. But other than that, stop on over. Catch me at TalkMX on power2theground.com. It's a free membership. Come in and hang out with us and talk about this kind of stuff. We always welcome new people.
Get your hot sauce.
Yeah. Don't forget to hit up Sean over at Bro Taco and get you some hot sauce. That stuff's good, man.
Yeah,
You're not even a super hot sauce fan.
I'm about to tear into it.
Let's use the ones.
I wasn't
a
supercross fan before Tuesday. I just became a hot sauce fan too.
Right. And don't forget to get your sprockets and chains from Sunstar. These great folks over there working hard to try to get your ride in tip-top shape. So we'll catch you next time. Peace.